Are you happy? I think that's a question that gets emphasized a lot. And I do think there is importance to that question, and um, I think it is important to keep in mind. However, I don't think happiness can be there 100% of the time. And when people ask me that question, am I happy? It's hard for me to say yes, but at the same time, I'm not sad either. There's nothing that I'm trying to. I'm not sad. I'm not depressed. And so, I think when happiness has such an emphasis, it does become priority. And the thing is that on the pursuit of happiness, you're not always going to be happy. I have been guilty of this, but I do, and I have, used my lack of happiness as an indicator, to make change in my life. And that's not always, that is good. And, um, there can be positive benefits from it. However, though, when I believe when too much emphasis is placed on it, um, I don't think it can be the most beneficial. For instance, when I was on my weight loss journey, of course I was not happy 100% of the time doing it and going throughout that. However, at the end of it, and looking back now, I am happy that I did it, yes. But if I would have stopped the minute I was no longer happy doing it, I don't think I would be where I'm at today. And to the same degree, I think with any long-term goal, you're not always going to be happy doing it. But the end result, I believe, will make you happy. And if you stop the minute you no longer feel happy, I think it's going to be hard to achieve anything worthwhile. Family, jiu-jitsu, work, friends, all these things make me happy. But all these things at the same time do not always make me happy. And if I drop them the minute they no longer made me happy, I feel my life would suck. This all came from, I was actually doom scrolling a little bit this morning, and I forgot the gentleman's name, but it's this, I believe, like a Shaolin monk or something along those lines. And he was asked, "Are you happy?" And he said, he's not chasing happiness. The minute something rises, it is expected to fall. And that's what I love, right? Because when you have something bringing you high, your options are to A, chase the next thing to make you high, or B, fall. And I mean, I don't think any fall like that, going from a high to a low feels good. No matter how subtle or drastic it may be. And so for me, it's very reaffirming, because I don't look for happiness. I just look to be content in the now, right? And I guess you could say some sort of happiness, but he mentioned he's looking for peace, and I guess you could say to, if you're looking for that, then you could expect some of the other thing, which is true. But the way I interpret it, and how I try to apply that to myself is, can I wake up and not be looking for anything, right? Can I just be present, be completely still, and not searching for, like, oh, what's going to make me happy? What's going to make me feel this? What's going to make me feel that? No, can I be still? Can I be with myself and not need anything? Not need to feel something emotionally, not need to be stimulated, not need to be in the presence of others. The more I've done that, the more I've been able to just to get things done in my life, right? Where now I no longer need this emotional boost, this emotional pick-me-up to just jumpstart me into doing some activity. I think when I first started to notice this was when I started fasting. And what fasting made me realize, at least, is that you have this, people could debate about, the health benefits, but for me, the mental, I guess, benefits, you could say, of fasting is learning how to keep going in spite of all these things in your mind telling you to stop. Maybe it could be the same thing that, marathon runners get and all that. But it's, like I said, fasting helped me see that, okay, I'm hungry. But I can't eat. And I can't go to sleep. It's noon, let's just say. And so my only options are to either give up and break my fast and eat, or to ignore it and just try to keep moving, or just listen to it and deprive myself and suffer for the rest of my fast, or try and force myself to sleep to somewhat get through it. Well, the last two options aren't really possible. I don't want to sit there and think about eating for another, 24, 36, 48 hours. I can't sleep for the next 36, 48 hours. I'm not going to break the commitment I made. So really, the only option I'm presented with is I can ignore it, recognize that it's there, that I'm hungry, and that, all this is valid, but realizing that it's not gonna change what I'm going to do now. And regardless of what I may feel, I still keep moving. And so, excuse me. So translating it to the happiness, again, if it's almost like that hunger, I realized by fasting, how much of my mental energy just went to thinking about like eating and looking at forward to the next meal and what, what I'm gonna eat. And there's just not all of it, but maybe 10 to 20% of my day was just thinking about food and like what I'm gonna eat, and almost as a distraction. You get it's 9 o'clock, you get, let's just say, 1-2 hours of work done or things done. It's 11 o'clock, and it's hard to focus on the next hour. Oh, lunch is coming up. What am I going to eat? And then your mind kind of gets distracted from there. Compared to when you're fasting, it's 11. Okay, 12 comes. I'm not gonna eat. Obviously, can't even think about eating. So what am I gonna do? Can I keep working? Maybe, or can I find something else to do that would be a productive use of my time? And so, bringing that forward to the happiness again, I before I would do something, I was like, oh, I'm not making me happy. Let me switch it up. Let me find something else, right? But now it when that happiness is no longer the goal, I do feel I find more meaning in my life. And meaning to me just is, do I feel fulfilled? Do I feel, I don't even want to say joy, but just do I find meaning in what I'm doing? And it is a little, at least for me at this moment, it's a little hard to explain, but trying to approach life and happiness that way, again, so weird, paradoxically, has given me more happiness, you know? And I do find joy in the little things now. And it's not in the sense of I've given up on what I'm striving and working towards. No, it's more or less like I realize the journey of getting to where I want to be, even though it's not always happy and filled with sunshine and rainbows and all that. In the long run, does lead to a more lasting happiness, a deeper sense of meaning, and that is definitely something I wish I would have been able to understand sooner. But I'm grateful that I understand it now.